Hello everybody, my name is Mario5514 and welcome back to another Splatoon Talk video. In this video we're going to be looking at some more what-if patch notes for Splatoon 3 for version 12.1. With the next update being confirmed, we're going to be looking at to see what changes Nintendo could give us instead of what they'll actually give us. Keep in mind these are only concepts, so they shouldn't be taken seriously. And if you end up enjoying the video, hit the like button, and if you end up liking the video, consider subscribing, and let's get started as we jump right in. First up is Splattershot. So first, we're going to reduce its ink consumption by about 3%, reduce its ground RNG by 12%, increase its droplet rate from 1.5 to 2, make it paint 3% better from far away, reduce the standard ink droplet radius by about 7%, and reduce the distance between droplets from 9.2 to 8.5 units. For Splattershot Pro, we'll reduce its ink consumption by about 5%, increase its droplet rate from 2 to 3, have it paint 4% better from far away, give it 5% more range with 5% faster shot speed, reduce its standard ink droplet radius from 1.4375 units to 1.36 units, and increase the time for bullets to travel straight in the air from 3 frames to 4 frames. For NZAP, we're going to increase its droplet rate from 1.4 to 1.6, have it paint 3% better from far away, give it 3% more range, reduce the distance between droplets from 11 to 10 units, decrease the time it takes for bullets to recover after jumping from taking between 25 to 70 frames to 0 to 60, and decrease its standard ink droplet radius by about 4%. For 52 cal, we're going to increase its ink consumption by about 9%, increase its droplet rate from 2.4 to 3, reduce its standard ink droplet radius from 1.495 units to 1.375 units, increase the time it takes to reach its max, shot spread reach its max, meaning it will go from taking 8 shots to about 12, give it the same jump accuracy recovery time buff, and increase the time for bullets to travel straight from 3 frames to 4 frames. For 96 gal, we're going to decrease its trajectory variance, making it that it will get 12 shots to reach minimum accuracy instead of 9, increase its droplet rate from 3.4 to 4, reduce its standard ink droplet radius by about more than 8%, decrease the distance between droplets from 6 units to 5 units, and decrease its jump accuracy recovery time from 25 to 70 to 0 to 60 frames. For Jet Squelcher, we're going to give it slightly better accuracy, so it will get 20 shots to reach minimum accuracy instead of 16, give it 3% more range, increase its droplet rate from 2.4 to 3, decrease the distance between those droplets from 10 to 8.5 units, increase the time for bullets to travel straight in the air from 5 frames to 6, and reduce its standard ink droplet radius by about 3%. For L3, we're going to reduce its ink consumption by about 9%, make it so that its jump RNG will match that of its ground RNG, so it will go from 6 degrees to 1 degree, make it deal 5% more damage to the Rainmaker shield, decrease its jump accuracy recovery time from 25 to 70 to 0 to 60, and increase the max damage from 31 to 32. For H3, we're going to reduce its ink consumption by about 15%, increase its droplet rate from 3 to 4, give it 20% faster strafe speed, have it deal 20% more damage to the Rainmaker shield, give it 6% more range, and reduce its standard ink droplet radius by more than 8% or 9%. For Squeezer, we're going to increase its damage while pressing ZR or when in burst fire mode from 38 to 42, increase its droplet rate in painting mode from 1.5 to 2, give it 28% faster shot speed in its burst fire mode without changing its range or affecting it, reduce the distance between those spray droplets in painting mode from 8.67 units to 6.5 units, and have its burst fire mode paint about 4 to 5% better from far away. For Sploosh, we're going to increase its damage from 38 to 40, increase its droplet rate from 1.4 to 1.5, have it paint about 4% better from far away, decrease the distance between spray droplets from 6 units to 5.5 units, give it 10 frames more white ink, reduce its jump accuracy recovery time from 25 to 70 to 0 to 60, and decrease the standard ink droplet radius by more than 9%. For Splash, we're going to increase its droplet rate from 1.5 to 1.6, give it 10 frames more white ink, have it paint more than 4% better from far away, make it so that the shot reduction is a little more gradual, making it go from 20 to 28 frames for it to reach minimum damage, increase the time for bullets to travel straight from 2 to 3 frames, and decrease its standard ink droplet radius by more than 6%. For Aerospray, we're going to increase its damage from 24 to 24.5, we're going to reduce its shot variance or its ground RNG by 5%, make its jump RNG match that of its ground RNG, reduce its standarding droplet radius by more than 4%, decrease the radius of ink droplets far from the player by more than 3%, and give it 10 frames more white ink. For Splattershot Jr., we're going to increase its ink consumption by 16%, increase its droplet rate from 1.4 to 1.5, have it paint 4% better from far away, decrease its standard ink droplet radius by more than 7%, decrease its jump accuracy recovery time from 25 to 70 to 0 to 60, and give it 10 frames more white ink. And finally on the shooters is Splattershot Nova. We're going to give it better accuracy, so it will get 12 shots to reach minimum accuracy instead of 5, give it 22% less ground RNG, increase its droplet rate from 1.4 to 1.5, give it 12% less jump RNG, and make it so that it'll take longer for the shots to reach minimum damage, going from 25 to 40 frames. Onto the rollers. First up is Splat Roller. We're going to first increase its ink consumption by about 5%, increase its movement speed when rolling by 7%, have its horizontal flicks paint 15% more, and have it allow it to deal 50 and 100 damage from further away when performing a horizontal flick, as with these numbers shown here on the bottom. For Carbon Roller, we're going to reduce its ink consumption by about 12%, increase the max damage when performing a horizontal and vertical flick to 125, instead of the horizontal dealing 100 and its vertical dealing 120. We're going to increase the number of spray droplets it can produce from its horizontal flicks and have them paint 15% more when performing a horizontal flick. For the Dynamo Roller, we're going to reduce its ink consumption by about 5%, make it so that the horizontal flick will deal max damage at 16 degrees instead of 14.5, so the angle is wider. Its horizontal flick will paint 10% better, its movement speed when rolling will be 11% faster, and its damage when rolling will be increased from 125 to 150. And next up is the Flingza Roller. For its vertical flick will be 8% less ink hungry. Its horizontal flick will be able to deal max damage at 16 degrees instead of 15. Its horizontal flick will paint 15% more, and will get the same buff that we gave Splat Roller, allowing its horizontal flick to deal 50 and 100 damage from further away. And finally is the Big Swig Roller. The horizontal flick will deal max damage at 13.5 degrees instead of 12. It'll be 22% more ink hungry. Its max damage when performing a horizontal flick will be increased from 70 to 80. And it'll have 10 frames more white ink when performing a horizontal and vertical flick. Onto the Chargers. First up is Squiffer. It'll have 3% more range at full charge and on a partial charge. Its strafe speed when charging and while charging will be 67% faster. The weapon will become a lightweight, and it'll paint about 3 to 4% better on a full charge. Next up is E-Liter, where its range at full charge will be 3% longer. Its maximum partial charge damage will now deal 85 damage, and it'll have 10 frames more white ink. For the E-Liter Scope, it'll have 3% more range. Its maximum partial charge will be at 85 damage, and will paint about 4% better on a full charge, and will paint about 2 to 3% less when not fully charged, and will have 10 frames more white ink. For Bamboo, it'll have 2% more range at full charge. It'll paint about 3 to 4% better on a partial charge, and will paint about 2% better on a full charge. It'll deal 20% more damage to the Splatbrella canopies, and will deal 10% more damage to the Booyah Bomb armor. Next up is GooTuber. Its range at full charge will be increased by about 3%, same for the range for the shots that are not fully charged. It'll paint about 2% or 3% better on a partial charge. The minimum damage will be increased from 40 to 45, and the area at the player's feet will now always be inked when firing, even on a full charge. And last up is Pencil, or the Snipe Rider. Its range at full charge will be 2% shorter. Its range from a partial charge will be 3% longer. It'll have 10 frames more white ink. It'll deal 20% more damage to Crab Tank, but it will deal 10% less damage to Splash Wall. Onto the blasters. First up is Regular Blaster, where its ink consumption will be reduced by about 10%. It'll have 20% less jump RNG. The chance the shots have to deviate when jumping will be reduced from 50% to 40%. It'll have 2 frames less white ink, and its jump accuracy recovery time will be reduced from 25 to 70 to 0 to 60 frames. Next up is Range Blaster. Its ink consumption will be reduced by about 9%, going from 11 to 10%, getting 1 more shot. Its blast radius will be 5% larger. It'll have 15 frames less white ink, will have 13% less jump RNG, and the chance the shots have to deviate when jumping will be reduced from 50% to 40%. Next up is Luna Blaster, where its ink consumption will be reduced by roughly 20%. The chance the shots have to deviate when jumping will be reduced from 50% to 40%. It'll have 10 frames less white ink. Its jump accuracy recovery time will be reduced from 25 to 70 to 0 to 60 frames, and it'll have 9% less jump RNG. For Rapid Blaster, its jump RNG will be reduced by about 13%. Its jump accuracy recovery time will be reduced from 40 to 70 to 0 to 60 frames. The chance the shots have to deviate when jumping will be reduced from 50% to 40%. However, the weapon will be 14% more ink hungry, and Rapid Blaster will become a lightweight like Squiffer. Next up is Rapid Blaster Pro, where its shot variance will be reduced when jumping. Its jump RNG will be reduced by about 13%. Its jump accuracy recovery time will be reduced from 40 to 70 to 0 to 60. It'll be 9% more ink hungry. The chance the shots have to deviate when jumping will be reduced from 50% to 40%, and will have 15 frames less white ink. Next up is Clash Blaster. First, its ink consumption will be increased by about 25%. Its blast radius will paint 5% better. Its blast radius will be 2% smaller, and the chance the shots have to deviate when jumping will be reduced from 50% to 40%. And last up is S-Blast, where its ink consumption will be increased by about 5%. The chance the shots have to deviate when jumping will be reduced from 50% to 40%. The weapon will have 5 frames more white ink. It'll have 13% less jump RNG, and its firing interval or its fire rate will be increased or extended by 3 frames. On to the Splatlings. First up is Mini Splatling. Its droplet rate will be increased from 1.6 to 1.8. The weapon will paint 3% less from far away, and its standard ink droplet radius will be reduced by about 3%. The distance between droplets will be reduced from 10 units to 8.5 units. It'll have 6% faster strafe speed when charging, and its jump accuracy recovery time will be reduced from 25 to 70 to 0 to 45 frames. Next up is Heavy Splatling, where its shot variance will be its ground RNG will be reduced by about 9%. Its max damage will be increased from 30 to 32. Its standard ink droplet radius will be reduced by about 3%. Its jump accuracy recovery time will be reduced from 25 to 70 to 0 to 45 frames, and its strafe speed when charging will be increased by about 6%. Next up is Hydra Splatling. The standard ink droplet radius will be reduced by about 3%. Its jump accuracy recovery time will go from 25 to 70 to 0 to 45 frames. It'll have 9% faster strafe speed when charging, and it'll take 15 frames faster to fully charge the weapon. Next up is Nautilus. Its strafe speed when charging will be 50% faster. Its strafe speed when firing is 14% faster. It'll have 9% less ground RNG. Its standard ink droplet radius will be reduced by about 3%, and its jump RNG will match that of its ground RNG. Next up is Ballpoint Splatling. Its damage in both of its firing modes will be increased from dealing with its short range mode going from 28 to 30, and its long range mode from 30 to 32. Its long range mode will have 22% faster shot speed without affecting its range. Its ground RNG in long range mode will be reduced from 1.5 degrees to 1 degree. The effects of run speed up will be strengthened from 25 to 35%, and the chance the shots have to deviate in long range mode will be reduced from 40% to 30%. And last up is Heavy Edit Splatling, where its max damage will be increased from 26 to 28. The weapon will have 6% faster strafe speed when charging. The frequency in which inking occurs at the player's feet will occur every 1 out of 3 shots instead of 1 out of 5. Its droplet rate will be increased from 0.6 to 0.8. It will have 17% less ground RNG, and it'll take 5 frames faster to fully charge the weapon. On to the buckets, or the sloshers. First up is Regular Slosher. Its strafe speed will be 25% faster. It'll be 8% less ink hungry. The time it takes between you entering squid form or using your sub weapon will be 2 frames longer, and the weapon will also have 2 frames more end lag. Next up is Tri-Slosher. Its movement speed will be 6% faster, its strafe speed will be 6% faster. It'll have 3% more range when jumping. Its fire rate will be 2 frames longer, and it will now become a middleweight once again. Next up is Sloshing Machine, where its ink consumption will be reduced by about 24%. Its fire rate will be reduced by about 3 frames. Its strafe speed will be 14% faster. The ink coverage when the center of the shot hits the ground will paint 10% more, and it'll have 3 frames more white ink. Next up is Bloblobber. It'll deal 20% more damage to the Rainmaker shield and to the Splatbrella canopy, and it will also deal 10% more damage to Crab Tank. However, it'll have 5 frames more white ink and will paint 3% less. And next up is the Explosher, where it'll have 10 frames less white ink, it will be 10% less ink hungry, and the speed of the projectiles will be 7% faster without affecting its range. And last up is the Dreadringer. It'll have 12% faster strafe speed. Its first and second projectiles will deal, instead of 42 and 48, it will now deal 50 to 44. It'll have 5 frames more white ink, and it will deal 10% more damage to splash walls. On to the brushes. First up is Ink Brush. Its ink consumption when painting or when sliding will be 7% more, so it'll be 7% more ink hungry when sliding. It'll have 5 frames more white ink after swinging the brush. Its damage overlap will be returned, or its critical damage mechanic will be added to where you can hit your opponent with more than 1 glob of ink, and its minimum damage per glob will be increased from 7.5 to 9. Next up is Octobrush, where its movement speed when sliding will be 4% faster. Its movement speed when swinging the brush will be 17% faster. The width of the trail will be 11% wider when sliding, and a critical damage mechanic, or its damage overlap, will be added where you could splat your opponent in less than 3 hits. And last up is Paintbrush, where it'll have 5 frames more white ink after sliding. The time it takes between the interval between continuous swings will be 2 frames faster. It'll be 8% less ink hungry when sliding, and the max damage when swinging the brush will be increased from 60 to 62. On to the dualies. First up is Splat Dualies. It'll be 11% more ink hungry in standard fire mode. It'll have 3% more range. It'll have 10 frames less white ink after rolling. It'll paint 3% better close to you. Its dodge roll will be 14% less ink hungry, and it will deal 10% more damage to Booyah Bomb. Next up are the Dualie Squelchers. Its max damage will be increased from 28 to 32. Its trajectory variance will be reduced, so instead of having to take 13 shots to reach minimum accuracy, it'll now be at 20. It'll paint 4% better from far away, have 6% more range, and its jump accuracy recovery time will be reduced from 25 to 70 to 0 to 60. Next up are the Dapple Dualies. Its shot variance after rolling will be 23% less. It'll have slightly better accuracy. It'll be 5% more ink hungry, and will deal 20% more damage to Booyah Bomb. Next up are the Tetra Dualies. Its max damage will be increased from 28 to 30. It'll have 10 frames less white ink after rolling. Its droplet rate will be increased from 1.2 to 1.5. It'll have 4% more range. It will have better accuracy, and it will paint about 5% more close to you. Next up are the Galuga Dualies. It'll have 10 frames less white ink after rolling. Its max damage will be increased from 36 to 38. It'll be 25% less ink hungry after rolling. Its standard fire mode will have 3% more range, and its strafe speed will be 13% faster. Last up are the Dowser Dualies. Its dodge roll will be 20% less ink hungry. Its standard fire mode will have better accuracy. Its dodge roll will have 10 frames less white ink and will have 13% less RNG. And the standard ink droplet radius in standard fire mode will be increased by about 4%. On to the Brellas. First up is Splatbrella. Its pellet damage will be increased from 16.2 to 17. With this change, max damage will be increased from 81 to 85, and the minimum damage will go from 10.8 to 11.5. Its strafe speed when shielding will be 9% faster. The canopy will take 15% less damage from chargers. The H3 will deal 10% more damage to its canopy, and will deal 10% more damage to Crab Tank. Next up is Tentabrella. Its ink consumption will be reduced by about 9%. Its canopy HP will be strengthened by about 7%, going from 700 to 750. H3 will deal 20% more damage to the canopy. The time it takes to regenerate your canopy will be reduced from 5.67 seconds to 5.5 seconds. Its minimum damage will be increased from 17 to 18, and will deal 20% more damage to Crab Tank. And last up is Undercover Brella, where its max damage will be increased from 40 to 45. With this change, minimum damage will go from 9 to 10.5. H3 will deal 10% more damage to its canopy. Its canopy HP will be strengthened by 25% from 200 to 250. It'll have 15 frames more white ink. It'll deal 10% more damage to Crab Tank, but it will deal 10% less damage to the Rainmaker shield. On to the bows, which Tri-Stringer is the only one, where it'll have 5 frames more white ink. Its charge level at its ink consumption on the first level will be 20% more. Its ink consumption at full charge will be 17% increased, or 17% more ink hungry. Its strafe speed will be 6% faster, and the radius of ink droplets around your feet will be increased by about 3 to 4%. On to the Splatanas. First up is Splatana Wiper, where it will have 10 frames more white ink after performing a horizontal slash and a charge slash. Its horizontal slash will be 33% more ink hungry. The time it takes to perform a charge slash when you're out of ink will be extended by 3 frames, and the standard ink droplet radius will be increased by about 3%. Next up is Stamper, where its ink consumption will be reduced by about 10%. Standard ink droplet radius when performing a horizontal slash will be increased by about 5%. Its charge slash will paint 5% more, and the time it takes to perform a charge slash will be 2 frames faster. On to the sub-weapons. First up is Splat Bomb. Its max damage radius will be 11% larger, and its 30 damage radius will be 14% larger. And Inksaver sub will be more costly at 30% instead of 35%. For Suction Bomb, its max damage radius will be 9% larger, with its 30 damage radius being 12% larger. And Inksaver sub will be 30% effective on it, like with Splat Bomb. Next up is Burst Bomb. 35 damage radius will be 14% larger. Its ink consumption will be reduced from 45 to 40%. Inksaver sub will be 25% effective, and the knockback effect will be slightly strengthened. Next up is Auto Bomb. Its max damage radius will be 23% bigger. 30 damage radius will be 8% larger. It'll have 10 frames less white ink, and Inksaver sub will be 30% less effective. Next up is Curling Bomb. The radius that deals max damage, depending on how long the R button was pressed, will be increased by about 9 to 25%. Its ink consumption will be reduced from 65 to 60%, and it'll have 10 frames less white ink immediately after releasing the R button, and Inksaver sub will be 30% effective on it. Next up is Fizzy Bomb. 50 damage radius on the first explosion will be 25% larger. 50 damage radius will be 28% larger on the second explosion, and 15% larger on the third one, and it'll have 10 frames less white ink. Next up is Toxic Mist. Inksaver sub will be 25% effective on it, and will have 5 frames more white ink. Next up is Squid Beacon. Its HP has been strengthened by about 17% from 120 to 140. If you do not have any of the beacons equipped, you and your allies can super jump to them 3 times instead of just 2. Its ink consumption will be reduced from 75 to 70%. Inksaver sub will be 30% effective, and Inkstorm will deal 20% more damage to the sub. Next up is Ink Mine. Its 45 damage radius will be 11% larger. The damage from an outside explosion will be increased from 35 to 45, and the damage from an inside explosion will deal 55 instead of 45. And Inksaver sub will be 30% effective on it. Next up is Torpedo. 60 damage radius will be 15% larger. Splash damage dealt from the explosions will be increased from 12 to 14. It'll have 3 frames less white ink. The initial velocity when throwing the sub will be 3% faster, and Inksaver sub will be 30% effective on it. Next up is Sprinkler. The damage it inflicts will be increased from 20 to 25. Its HP will be strengthened by 17%. Its damage and inking radius of the sub and high power phase will be increased. Its high power phase will last 3 seconds longer. Its ink consumption will be reduced from 60 to 50%, and the effects of Inksaver sub will be 30% effective. And last up is Splash Wall, where it will have 10 frames less white ink. It'll deal 35 damage on contact. The rate in which damage is inflicted will be at 15 frames instead of 30. The time it takes for the sub to set up after landing on an upward slope will be 10 frames faster, and will last a third of a second longer on the stage. On to the specials. First up is Trizuka, where its base duration will be extended by 1 second. Its 53 damage radius will be increased from 2.5 to 3.5 units. Its startup will be 15 frames longer. It'll deal 20% more damage to Big Bubbler. The delay in which the shot comes out after firing will be extended by 5 frames, and the shots will paint 12% better. Next up is Inkjet, where its base duration has been extended by half a second. Its 50 damage explosion radius will be 8% larger. It will deal 20% more damage to Big Bubbler. Its damage dealt by direct shots will be increased from 120 to 150, and the shots will paint 6% more. Next up is Kraken. Its charge attack will be 5 frames faster. Its 60 damage radius when performing a jump attack will be 7% larger. The width of the ink trail will be 50% wider when just swimming, or when swimming. Its startup time will be 10 frames faster. The special can now super jump to your allies after you've transformed, and made it so that swim speed up will now affect the special besides special power up. Next up is Tacticooler. The drink's effect will be extended by 1 second. Its cooldown time will be reduced by half a second. The horizontal radius where players can grab a beverage will be extended by 21%. And the special will disappear after 3 seconds when all drinks from the stand have been taken to reduce visual clutter. Next up is Super Chump. The HP per chump has been strengthened by 33% from 60 to 80. Its 70 damage radius will be increased by about 11%. The number of chumps launched will be increased from 12 to 15. Its cooldown time will be reduced by 1 second. And the time it takes between the chumps falling and exploding will be half a second faster. Next up are Tentamissiles. Its max damage radius will be increased by 36%. Its 50 damage radius will be 19% bigger. And its 30 damage radius will be about 6% bigger. Its cooldown time will be reduced by 1 second, and they will deal 10% more damage to Big Bubbler. Next up is Ultra Stamp. Its duration will be extended by half a second. Its 40 damage radius in rush mode will be 12% smaller. It'll deal 2 times the amount of damage to Big Bubbler when throwing the special, and its activation or its startup will be more audible to its opponents. Next up is Triple Ink Strike, where its duration has been extended by half a second. The special you can now submerge when using the special. Its damage radius will be reduced by 3%. The damage inflicted will be reduced by about 7% to 37.5 to 35, and it will paint 4% more. The missiles will paint 4% more. Next up is Zipcaster, where the 35 damage radius on contact or at the landing point will be 17% wider, and its damage on contact with opponents will be increased from 60 to 70. Next up is Wavebreaker. Its durability will be increased by about 4%, from 480 to 500. The depth of the waves will be increased by about 15%. The height of the waves will be increased by 25%, and the damage dealt by the device will be increased from 30 to 35. Next up is Ink Vac. The radius of the outer perimeter when vacuuming up ink or the vortex will be 4% smaller. The amount of enemy ink that can be sucked up will be reduced from 1200 to 1000 damage, and the radius of the ink shot explosion when the amount of enemy ink is sucked up at the maximum will be reduced by about 9%, going from 11 to 10 units. Next up is Triple Splashdown, where HP of both of the fists will be strengthened by 50%. The explosion radius when the paint radius of the explosion when you super jump will be 35% bigger, and the damage radius will be 20% bigger when you super jump. And the hitboxes have been adjusted. The inside blast radius that deals 60 damage will be reduced from 10.5 to 8.5 units, and the outside radius that's at 10.5 units will deal 55 damage. And the damage from its inside blast radius will be increased from 60 to 70. Next up is Crab Tank, where its damage in rapid fire mode was reduced from 32 to 30. The width of the ink trail left in ball form will be 10% wider. The radius of standard ink droplets in rapid fire mode will be increased from 1 to 1.75 units. And the hitbox for collisions with players in rapid fire mode will be increased from 0.2 to 0.25 units. And for our abilities, special power-up will be adjusted for 4 specials. For Trizuka, SPU will now increase the painting radius of the explosions by up to 30%, and the damage radius of the explosions will be increased by up to 35%. For Tacticooler, the maximum effect will be 26 seconds instead of 25. For Tentamissiles, the painting radius of the missiles will be increased by up to 25%. And for Crab Tank, special power-up will only increase its duration to up to 10 seconds, matching that of Kraken Royale. And for Comeback, it'll have 12 ability points instead of just 10 that is given to you. And for the points for special changes, NZAP 89 will get Super Chump at 180, 52 Deco will get Screen at 200, 96 Gal will get Ink Vac at 200, 96 Deco will get Kraken at 200, Jet Squelcher will get Ink Vac at 190, Glitter's L3 will get Inkjet at 190, H3 will get Tacticooler at 180, H3D will get Big Bubbler at 190, Squeezer will get Trizuka at 210, Foil Squeezer will get Screen at 200, Neo Sploosh will get Whale at 180, and Neo Splash will get Tri-Strike at 210, Splash Gecko will get Inkstorm at 190, Aerospray will get Reef Slider at 200, making another plus 20 points for special, Aerospray RG will get Booyah Bomb at 200, Colors Aerospray will get Screen at 190, Custom Splattershot Jr. will get Wavebreaker at 200, Splattershot Nova will get Whale at 200, the Anaki Splattershot Nova will get Inkjet at 200, Crack-On Splat Roller will be our next weapon to reach 160p, Carbon Deco will get Trizuka at 180, Carbon Angle will get Super Chump at 170, Stars Dynamo will get Whale at 190, Flingza will get Missiles at 200, Big Swig will get Ink Vac at 190, and Big Swig Roller Express will get Ink Storm at 190. Classic Squiffer will get Big Bubbler at 180. Both Custom E-Liter and E-Liter Scope will get Kraken at 200. Bamboo will get Whale at 180. Bamboo Mach 2 will get Super Chump at 180. Gootuber will get Tent Missiles at 190. Range Blaster will get Wavebreaker at 200. CRB will get Kraken at 200. Rapid Deku will get Inkjet at 200. Rapid Pro will get Ink Vac at 190. Rapid Pro Winter will get Tacticooler at 190. S-Blast 92 will get Reef Slider at 190. Mini Splyling will get Ultra Stamp at 210. Hydra will get Booyah Bomb at 200. Nautilus will get Ink Storm at 200. Ballpoint will get Inkjet at 200. Edit Nouveau will get Crab Tank at 210. Tri-Slosher will get Inkjet at 190. Triashen will get Screen at 190. Neo Sloshing Machine will get Trizuka at 180. Blob will get Ink Storm at 200. Blob Deku will get Kraken at 180. Ink Brush will get Whale at 190. Octobrush Nouveau will get Ink Storm at 190. Light Tetras will get Zipcaster at 180. Glugas Deku will get Trizuka at 180. Custom Dowsers will get Tri-Strike at 190. Sorella Brella will get Inkjet at 200. Tent Brella will get Ink Vac at 180. Sorella Tent will get Trizuka at 190. Undercover Brella will get Reef Slider at 190. Bulbs Tri-Stringer will get Inkjet at 190. Wiper Deku will get Missiles at 180. And finally, Stamper will get Zipcaster at 200. And for the stage to return, Salt Spray Rig. Yeah, I genuinely think Salt Spray Rig should return. Since Urchin Underpass returned in version 10.0, I think Salt Spray Rig has a chance to return. And that's it. That is the video. Thank you all for watching. If you guys like the video, be sure you subscribe and don't forget to leave a like on the video. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.